Hello, welcome to Football United TV. I'm joined by a special guest, Unofficial Pundit. How you doing, sir?
I'm good. Yourself, pal?
Yeah, not too bad, man. Not too bad. So it's been a busy week or so for you recently in the media, of course, online.
Yep.
How do you feel about all this media rage going on at the moment? You know, because it gets annoying hearing all these. How would you put it?
I call them plastics. And why I call them plastics,
Plastics.
and I call them glory hunters. And the reason why I say glory hunter was made up for Manchester United years ago because we was winning everything. That word has seemed to have gone away now, but it's more relevant now than it was back then. Because the era I grew up in, you didn't praise Scumple, you didn't praise Shitty. No way. When we was the best, they still used to try to argue with us, saying that they were better.
Yeah, I saw Roy Keane talking about it recently with Gary Neville, saying like it was like a machine. Like you went to training, everybody was on the ball.
Of course. And no matter who you was, no matter what club you supported, you stuck up for your team. In your head, your team was better. Yeah. Now you've got these glory hunters that sit there and go, oh, but I love watching them because they play great football. What? Excuse me? You love watching them because they play great football. I've never, ever heard a Scumple fan say in the 90s or 2000s, say, oh, but I do enjoy watching United because they play great football. You're mad. They used to say this. They used to say, even though we was winning trophies every year, they would say Gerrard was better than Scholes. They would say Arsenal, who won a trophy every time we won it for 3 years, they might pop up and win one, would say Henry was better than Giggs. Giggs has 13 Premier League trophies. Arsenal Football Club in a whole have 13. Or not Premier League, but I mean leagues.
He's individually won more than the club.
He's individually won as many leagues, I won't say Premier Leagues, but as many leagues as a club that's been running for over 100 years. But they want to bring up a player who won 2 leagues and say he's better than him. Come on. It's just ridiculous. And then they want to say, oh, but some people will say, oh, but your team was better. Well, that is true. But a lot of people say that Ashley Cole's the best left back the Premier League scene. Some people say that Vieira's the best captain. I don't agree with any of that.
No.
Some people say Sol Campbell was one of the best. He was one of the best, not the best though. He was one of the best. That I'll agree with. Some people say Bergkamp was the best striker or the best foreign talent that came over. So if they had all the best this and the best that, some people say Wenger was better than Ferguson. Well, then they should have been winning every year. They never even won the league back to back. So you can't even be compared with Chelsea's 2004-2005 team or 2004.
At least they've done it, yeah.
They won it back to back.
Yeah, exactly,
I can't even put Vieira in front of Lampard. And Lampard wasn't even their captain. I can't because Lampard, number one, his goal scoring stats in the Premier League.
Well, yeah, top goal scorer as well from midfield for
he shouldn't even be allowed. I think don't quote me on it, but I think he's fourth on the list. That shouldn't even be allowed. He should not be allowed to be fourth on the list. It should be all strikers ahead of him. Like, I know he played more games than some of them, but he still shouldn't be allowed. So that's how good he was. Vieira, one of the best captains, and I know I've criticised Keane recently, but Keane bullied him in the tunnel with words. Vieira come out and scored.
Yeah, it's on camera.
Vieira come out and scored after 7 minutes. He should now have dominated that game because he got the first goal. We beat them 4-2. We beat them 4-2, and that was meant to be one of their best ever teams. Some people say it's the best Premier League team ever.
Well, I think it was. Was it Roy Keane when he said, like, we'll just take it out there on the pitch? And I think that was like the line in the sand, wasn't it? To basically say,
yeah, of course. But my point is, I'll translate it to boxing a bit. If you're having an argument with a guy who you're going to face, and in the first round he comes out and knocks you down, he's now buzzing. He should go on to win that fight. Vieira got the first goal. They should have gone on as a team, as a whole, to destroy us that game, and they were at home. We won 4-2. John O'Shea chipped their goalkeeper. And we had 10 men.
Yeah, I remember that.
That just sums that up. Nice. Do you know what I mean? So people say I'm delusional, but the people that say Wenger should be delusional, Wenger over Ferguson should be delusional. People that
I'm
say,
guessing it's mostly from Arsenal fans, right?
This is United fans. I just had a tweet now from a United fan saying, I said David Silva's shit. That's my opinion. I don't care what anyone says because people can't throw up trophies because if they throw up trophies, I'll throw up all our players who have won more than them.
Yeah.
So That's my opinion. People say Wes Brown was shit, but he won 2 Champions Leagues and umpteen trophies. He was there for the treble and he was there for the 2018 and he assisted Ronaldo. So if you're going to say Wes Brown is shit, who had trophies cabinets bigger than some football clubs, then I can say David Silva's shit. How many European nights did David Silva dominate for shitty? I call them shitty, by the way. How many European nights did he dominate for them? How many European medals for club does he have with them? None. So don't. A United fan just tweet me, David Silva shit, ha ha ha. And Giggs better than Henry. Wow, you are delusional. And I'm a United fan. Excuse me? So that's a United fan that thinks Henry was better than Giggs. Excuse me? And you can't bring up what he done for country because he never won them. He never won them the World Cup. I don't even think he was in the team. I don't even think he was in the team. He was at the Euros. You can't compare France with Wales. Had Giggs played for England, then you could say, okay, fair enough. But you can't compare them. Do you get my drift? And they had Zidane.
Exactly. Yeah, you can't compare.
They had Zidane, arguably one of the greatest players ever. They had Zidane on the pitch, made their life a little bit easier, and they had a very, very good team. But for club, Giggs done a lot more, mate. A lot more.
There's no question about that, and I agree with you on that
so
too.
It's not even Arsenal fans that are criticising me; it's United fans, and my issue with that is if I run down that Luca Dean the other day because both goals were his fault. I was bombarded by Everton fans sticking up for him. If I go in there now and I run down a Scumple player, I'll have all of their silly fans bombard me and stick up for their player. But they didn't win the league. Whoever I'll criticise, their fans will stick up for them. If I try to stick up for a Man United player, our own fans will go against me.
So I guess it's just trolling, isn't it, really?
Trolling, but that's why I call them plastics and that's why I call them glory hunters, because they should be sticking up for their own players. We should be sticking up for Rashford, because if you look at Marcus Rashford, him at 21 is better than most players what they were when they were 21. And I put up the stat. When Sterling was 21, playing for a team that done better than us, because they finished third that season, when he was 21, he only scored 7 league goals and got 6 assists.
When do you think he might become that next level? If you think he
Rashford,
yeah.
I think it all depends on the team as well. Listen, your team also have to help you as a player. If you're dropping to the halfway line to pick up the ball all the time, and you're trying to literally not only get the ball, but you literally have to go past 4 people like you're playing in La Liga and you're Lionel Messi. So you literally have to pick up the ball, go past everyone yourself, and put it in the top corner. Mate, that's hard. He's human. So unless the team start playing better, you're going to struggle to see the best out of him.
Yeah, I've always said that you do need a good team around you to be able to get out your abilities. You know, like you can't get Messi playing for Scunthorpe and dragging them through all the leagues without having something around them. Like you look at Salford, the way they've recruited from other leagues and made their team better, and they've recruited what they felt is necessary to get promoted and get what they want.
There's a reason why Sterling only had 7 goals and 6 assists when he was 21, because that shitty team wasn't very good. They finished third and they just nicked third. They were fourth for quite a while. He's got better. 2 of his best seasons was when they won the league, because they were creating so much more. Don't get me wrong, he was getting to the right positions to score them goals, but they were creating so much more. Now, if Man United go on next season and win the league and get nearly 100 points or 100 points, Rashford's going to be an instrumental part of that. And then the next season, if we get 90-something points and we win the league again, he's going to be an instrumental part of that. This is the point I'm trying to make. If your team's not doing good, it's going to fall on you, but it doesn't mean that you're a bad player. It just might mean that some of the players around you ain't pulling their weight. And for a 21-year-old to get the brunt of the criticism, but a 26-year-old who's meant to be one of the best midfielders in the world ain't getting it. It's like I see someone, I'm not going to mention any names, because listen, if I start mentioning names, I'm going to have to terrorise them soon, and they know exactly who they are. But they gave Pogba 6 against Southampton, but they gave Rashford a 1. Come on, mate. Number one, no player gets a 1 unless you scored an own goal.
I don't think he's ever been one. I don't think he deserved it. At least
the only player that's ever deserved a 1 is Jonathan Woodgate, when on his debut gave away a penalty, got sent off, and I think scored an own goal as well. That's the 3 worst things you can do. If I said to you a defender was going to do that, you say no way, mate. If you rung the bookies, they'd give you 1,000,000 to 1. Because it's impossible that he's going to do the 3 worst things ever. He deserves a 1. No player deserves a 1, no matter how bad they can be. They deserve a 3 or a 4. So, and if you look at it, he still had shots on target. He still kept running. He still kept trying to do things. So he deserved maybe a 5. He wasn't great on the day. But Pogba did not deserve a 6. Trying to ping balls over the top from 40, 45 yards out is not good enough for me. It's at a point where you have to talk to your midfielders and say, listen, we're going to ping it around. You're going to draw a couple of players towards you, and I'm going to go on a darting run. Yeah. And maybe pop up for shot's sake. He don't do that because he hasn't got that football in his brain. That's my honest opinion. And I stuck up for Pogba. Listen, you can see tweets, even in the summer I stuck up for him because he's our player. But the minute he come out and said he wanted a new challenge, showed no respect to the club, and then I sat down and analysed loads of his games. That's what I'll do. I won't start making up at the top of my head. I'll sit and analyse a players' games and thought to myself, do you know what? What some people have been saying to me about Pogba was actually true. He don't do enough. Now the new season has started. If you wanted a move, you should have gone out there and dominated these games, and you might have got your move. You've gone out there and been terrible, mate. Real Madrid weren't coming offering 150 plus million for you with the way you was playing. Fact. So he started a new season and still not been good enough.
I agree. I don't think he's been as good as what the price tag was either. So yeah, I can't see Real Madrid coming in for a really big bid for him because, like you say, he hasn't been playing very well. Do you think as well with Rashford, the fact that he's had, like you said, I think before, he's had so many different managers, so many different ways of playing, and it's been hard to adapt and signify a place where he's strongest?
Mate, I'll be honest, with Rashford, I've said it before. He's had to, at the age of 21, in a team that's failing, has had to change his style 3 times because he had to play on the left, he had to play on the right, he had to play a centre forward. He's had to adapt himself to 3 different managers in LVG, Mourinho, now Solskjaer. They all play different football. The team has had to keep changing. So obviously it's going to be very hard for him. Under Mourinho, I highlighted it in my video that I done the other day. He started one of the first 4 games. So you're not giving this young player any confidence.
Yeah.
He came on against Burnley, got sent off. I don't think that was a sending off when him and Phil Barzi, they put their heads together. He didn't exactly headbutt him. He got sent off, so then he was out for another 3 games. So for 7 games of the season, last season, he only started one of them. The manager wasn't putting faith in these players. Mourinho does that. We know that about youngsters. I can name 10 youngsters now that he's got rid of, and they've come back, and some of them have become what people call now world stars and leaders of the game. So he put no faith in him. He done the same with Martial. This is why they struggled. But for players that were getting dropped, the manager had no faith in them, had to keep changing their style, and 1 minute they're playing up front, 1 minute they're playing on the left, 1 minute they're playing on the right. He still put up very good stats compared to other 21-year-olds at his age. So for me, a lot of it's because he's British, because he's an English player. Because if you look at it, most fans now are bashing all the British players, like Smalling, like Young, like Jones, like Lingard, like Rashford. They're bashing all these players. I saw a lot of fans didn't want Sancho in the summer. Now they're all saying, oh, I love Sancho, I wanted him. No, you didn't. You didn't think he was good enough. You thought players like João Felix was better, Nicolas Pepe was better. We saw some United fans, which got trolled by Arsenal fans, saying they would prefer Pepe over Sancho because he's older, better, quicker, this, that. Mate, come on. 4 games in and he's got an assist that shouldn't even be an assist, Pepe. But basically laced the ball. Lacazette done everything inside the box. And he gets an assist for that. But he's been dire. He's actually been dire. My old man just likes football. I would say he's a United supporter because of me and my little brother being United supporter since kids because of my granddad. But my old man just likes football. But he turned to me and went, who is this guy? I said, no, that's the Arsenal's new signing. They paid 72 million for him. I was like, how much? And he laughed. That's my issue there.
Issue, definitely.
There is British players. They get run down more than foreign players.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
that doesn't necessarily mean these foreign players are much better. That's just the way I look at it, and that's gone on for years. It has gone on for years with British players. Scholes never got the credit he should have. Rooney never got the credit he should have. And the list goes on. Lampard never got the credit he should have, and it's been like that. Rio Ferdinand never got the credit he should have. Do you know what I mean? But they would praise Vidic. Vidic was great. Don't get me wrong, but Rio deserved a lot of that praise. Believe me, he deserved a lot of that praise. I just think there's a big bias.
He's a very good defender.
Yeah, there's just a big bias against British players. That's my honest opinion. So
that's why the price tag's so high as well, you think, sometimes for British players?
No, but people say the price tag's so high. But the way I look at it is, if you look at the top 10, 20 transfers, there's about 2 British players in there. The rest of them are foreign players. So how does that add up? That's a load of garbage. That doesn't make sense. Because João Felix, what's he done to warrant 120 million nearly?
Oh no, that was just played by the media. I mean, Portugal done very well this summer with playing with the media, haven't they? We all know that with Bruno Fernandes as well. Yeah, that's just games. That's just media games, I think. And they've definitely, I think they've gone in and gone. Atletico Madrid have gone, right, we're getting rid of Griezmann, so we'll just pay all this money out. Hopefully, he'll do the same sort of job. And like you say, he's flopped at the moment.
Yeah. So what I don't get is how young players like that who haven't really done anything are going for 120 million, but apparently British players are overpriced.
Agents.
So for me, I don't believe in that the price tags too much, if you know what I mean. So
what do you think about Man United for the rest of the season? Like, yeah, what are your thoughts?
I honestly think the players have got to start pulling their weight. Some of these players, because they can't possibly be that bad. I'll bring up players like Mata, for example. Come on, you've won so many trophies. You can't possibly be that bad. But now you're getting a start against Southampton. And what did he do? You're playing in your favourite position. Come on, you've got to go out there and prove your points. That's why you should be starting every week, because you've got to take the game by the scruff of the neck. You should be dominating this game. You didn't. And who's Southampton really got in their midfield? So, come on, that's the way I look at it. Do you know what I mean? Players like him are letting him down. Players like De Gea, the goal against Palace, which put all the pressure on us.
Had a bad season last season.
Had a bad season. Now you've took it into this season as well, because that goal against Palace, if it was a draw, we would have still got criticised, but not as bad. And we still had a few minutes where we could have nicked a winner. You never know what would happen, because we would have now won everything at Palace. We didn't get a chance to, because they would have scored and the game was dead. It was finished. Even everyone in the stadium dropped, but we was trying to cheer the team on just before that. So De Gea letting him down, Pogba letting him down, not doing enough. All these more senior players are letting him down, and if they're going to carry on with that, we're going to struggle this season. But for me, even if we finish 6th, I don't look at it as such a big foul, because really, if these players keep letting him down, he has to get rid of 20 players when he first came in.
Yeah.
And you can't do that over one season. So give the guy time. Because we've seen the 3 players that he did bring in Maguire, in Wan-Bissaka, and in James, they've all been fantastic. They've all been fantastic.
They have been our best players.
Our 3 best players so far this season. They really have.
Daniel James, the top scorer?
Yeah, with 3 goals. I believe he is, yeah. So it just shows you how good they've been. Obviously, he's doing something right. And he stuck with James.
Standard, didn't he? Daniel James, especially, he set the standard at training, the work ethic. And
if you look at 99.9% of fans, when they're doing their teams, they didn't want James starting. Now he shut them all up. They didn't want him starting. So obviously, Ole was doing something right, because he stuck with him. He knew there was something in him, and he's rewarded him with that. Do you know what I mean? So if I can see a 21-year-old who everyone said it wasn't good enough, ain't this, ain't that, can come to the Premier League, his first season, and he can do this much, but then I'm sorry, people like Mata should be doing it. People like Pogba should be doing it. All these players need to step up, mate. They really do. And don't get me wrong. I know people say, oh, but Lingard, Lingard needs to step up as well. But yeah, so that's some of my take on some of those things. I think they need to start pulling their weight, because if a young kid, like I said, Daniel James can be doing it, I would say in the club and around the club and with the manager, there's no pressure on him, in the sense of it's only 15 million. That's why I was so excited about the buy, because he can only go on and do good. And if he doesn't, you sell him in a couple of years, you still gain some of the money back. And the way the market's going, if he just does okay, you probably get all your money back. Jordan Ibrahim,
you'll get someone buying him for a lot more than 15 million or so.
Yeah. So for me, the pressure's still on personally for him, and the media are watching him, and fans are going to bash him. The pressure was on, and I just think he's done fantastic. He's done better than players like Sanchez. We
can agree that's our favourite player of the so far.
yeah, 100%, 100%. Yeah. I'll definitely say he's my favourite player so far. But listen, if you go back on all my tweets, if you go back on all my Instagram posts, I said it the minute he signed, I was so excited about it. This was the player that, not saying it's going to change all Man United's fortunes, but I just thought, you know what? I watched some of his highlights. I'd obviously seen some of his games, like the one against Shitty and all that. I just thought, you know what? We needed a player who was so direct and wanted to run at defenders, rather than players who just seem to slow everything down. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I'm really happy with James. I really am, and I just think the fans need to support Ole and support the club and support the players, and hopefully they do better than expected. Do you know what I mean? Because at the moment, no one's expecting them to do very. No one's expecting them to do very good. I think that's really important.
Well, mate, thank you very much for coming on. Do you want to shout out all your Twitters and Instagram, etc.?
On Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, we are Unofficial Pundit, and on Twitter, we are Unofficial Pund1. Also, I'm a part of a really big Facebook group. It was actually started by my uncle. Now has 455k followers on there. That's called the Premier League Banter Group on Facebook. So everyone jump on that as well. It's really good. And it's for all fans.
And subscribe to everything as well, and you on YouTube, especially
100%.
Us too. And thank you very much for tuning in. Goodbye.